When we're out traveling in the Gulf of Mexico or out in the Atlantic Ocean where you don't see any land anywhere, makes you feel real small. Especially when you're going through rough seas as well. You know, these ships handle the exact same way as they would have done back in the 15th century. So they bob like a cork out in the open ocean. A rough ride, but very, very sturdy ships. You know, they will get you from A to B. And luckily today, you know, we do have the help of a diesel engine as well to help us get from A to B a little faster. But these are fully functioning sailing ships that we sail whenever we can. My name is Stephen Sanger. I'm a captain aboard the Pinta. I'm originally from the British Virgin Islands and been sailing on the Pinta here since 2010. At 8 years old, I was shipped off to boarding school over in Scotland. I spent 10 years of my life out there. Did quite a bit of sailing off the coast of Scotland, which was always rough, always 10-foot seas. And then right out of college, my dad was like, please come and help out on board the ship. So I came on board, started off as a deckhand, just like everybody else, and worked my way up the ranks over the years to first mate. And then for the last 9 years, I have been captain aboard the Pinta here and the Nina when she's traveling as well. And it was my dad who really got me into it, traveling around, and it was a great opportunity for me to spend more time with him. My dad was one of the founding fathers of the Columbus Foundation. He had hired John Patrick Sarsfield, and he really gained the trust of the local shipwrights down there in Valença, Brazil. So it was one of the only places in the world where they were still using the same techniques that dated back to the 15th century when the originals were constructed. The plan was to build the most authentic replica of a Portuguese caravel in existence. So we picked Columbus's favorite ship, the Nina, to construct first. Had the most history behind her with Columbus. Columbus spent 8 years of his life logging over 25,000 miles on board the original Nina. And the plan was to have her built in time to celebrate the 500th anniversary of his crossing in 1992. So it took 20 men 32 months to build the Nina from 1988 to 1991, using the same hand tools and methods that were used to construct the originals back over 500 years ago. So there was no electricity used during the construction of the Nina. And then 10 years later, after the Nina touring around solo, the Pinta here started to be built in 2002. It took the same 20 men to build the Nina, but took a little bit longer. It took 36 months to build the Pinta here. She was actually constructed a little bit larger than the original Pinta. She's 15 feet longer on the deck at 85 feet. The original was 70 foot long. Our width today is 24 feet. The original width and the beam of the ship would have been 18 feet, but she still sits the same 7 feet deep in the water. So the reason, you know, early explorers for, you know, several hundred years favored these ships is because they're able to get a lot closer to shore, navigate uncharted waters. Yeah, you'd be surprised the amount of people that say, oh, did you truck these here? You put them on a train to get them here? And no, we, all the inland waterways, all the waterways around the United States, you know, they all connect. We start each year down in Mobile, Alabama, and this ship has done the Great Loop 7 times, where we go up around the southern tip of Florida, around Key West. We travel up the east coast of the United States during the spring months, and then we get up to the Hudson River. We go right upstate New York to the Erie Canal. The Erie Canal is one of the oldest functioning canal systems in the United States today, mainly used for pleasure crafts. So we go through the Erie Canal that gets us onto the Great Lakes. We travel the Great Lakes during the summertime, and then come end of August, beginning of September, we will go through the Chicago River, through downtown Chicago, into the Illinois River. The Illinois feeds into the Mississippi River, like the majority of rivers around the United States. And then we have been up the upper Mississippi as far as the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. We've been up the Missouri River, all the way up as far as Sioux City, Iowa. We've been up the Ohio River as far as Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Been up the Arkansas River as far as Tulsa, Oklahoma. Been up the Cumberland River as far as Nashville. Here we are all the way up in Knoxville, Tennessee, as far as you can go on the Tennessee River. And then when we finish here, we're gonna go back down to Chattanooga, and then Thanksgiving, we will head all the way back down to the Gulf, taking the Tennessee to Pickwick Lake down to connect onto the Tombigbee Waterway, which runs 450 miles north-south through the gut of Alabama and Mississippi, and spit us out back right where we started down in Mobile 10 months later. We open up to the public 9 to 5 daily. Usually there's no reservation tours, but we do schedule a lot of school tours for a 30-minute guided tour between 9 and 5 during the weekdays. And we teach all about early exploration. We teach about the voyages of Columbus, life on board for those men that lived out on the ship, what their daily routine was like. And then we go into the mechanics of the ship, how different sections of the ship operate, how we steer the ship, how we sail the ship. And then life on board today, for the 6 crew members that live and travel on these ships 10 months out of the year. Most of them are volunteers that just sign up for about 3 to 4 weeks and end up falling in love with it. But it's a great experience to be able to get the kids on board especially, and really see the smiles on their face. They all come on board thinking it's a big pirate ship, but hopefully by the time they leave that they know it's more than a pirate ship. Yeah, I think the most important thing is just the appreciation, how much bravery and guts it took, for those men to leave Spain and jump out, get on a ship like this, and ventured off across the Atlantic Ocean, 4,000 miles until he bumped into modern-day Bahamas. 8 months later, he had lost to Santa Maria. But after the first voyage, I doubt the King and Queen of Spain thought Columbus was going to be returning from that first voyage. And then not only did he make one voyage, he made 4 voyages across the Atlantic Ocean over a 12-year period. So it's just an amazing feat. It's one of the monumental landmarks in our history.